One day, our good friend Jelani, I was trying to bully him, and he fought back. So I knew I couldn't him. I knew
He burned
leave
out.
that alone. Just leave him alone. So
Shaq explains the Kobe Bryant Flinch incident he had during a game with Matt Barnes. Matt will talk more on the details how this all came about. Let's hear what they have to say about this crazy situation.
Ain't nobody back here now.
yeah, ain't nobody back here. But ever since then, we've been really good friends. Speaking of fighting, the Kobe Flinch. Now, we're all bullies, but I'm a smart bully.
Right.
You know who to mess with, you know who to don't mess with. Like, one day, our good friend Jelani, I was trying to bully him, and he fought back. So I knew I couldn't him. I knew
He burned
leave
out.
that alone. Just leave him alone. So when y'all was going back, he wasn't backing down, you was backing down. When you did the flinch and he didn't move, what was your reaction?
He's a Kobe.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, you guys spent so much time together. Kobe, obviously, not only physically skilled and one of the greatest, but he'll mentally do the shit too. So Kobe was someone who will elbow you, grab you. He hit me in my sternum and knocked the wind out of me that game. He went and he was guarding me and tried to double and block Dwight Howard's shot, and the ball came off the rim, and I caught a dunk tip, and he elbowed me all from like here. Refs didn't call nothing, so it just came to a point where I'm like, fuck this. We're about to fight. Plain and simple. And the ball fake thing really wasn't even premeditated. I mean, if you look at it, I faked the ball, and the play was for a backdoor for Vince Carter to get a rip screen to get a layup. So I didn't even realize how close, like, that touched his nose and his eyelashes, and he literally just kept chewing his gum and didn't move. But, the funny part and I've told this before, so this is, after that season, we lost to Boston in 7. They went and played the Lakers in the finals, and the Lakers got that redemption in 2010. So my deal was up. They decided to give JJ more money they initially said. So JJ kind of took mine and some of mine and his money. So I was up. So I was actually going to go to Miami, and this is when I started getting calls from Pat Riley telling me that the big three were kind of forming, that Bron and Bosh were coming, and our closing lineup. He was telling me what the closing lineup would be. I'm like, I'm gonna go from Orlando to Miami. Cool. I get a call out the blue from a number that I don't know, and an LA number, and it happened to be Kobe. I don't know how he got my number. And he's like, "This is Kobe." I'm like, "Yeah, right. Get the fuck out of here. Who's this?" He's like, "Nah, it's really me." And so we started talking, and I congratulated him on the championship, and he asked me what I was gonna do, and I told him, like, I'm probably gonna go to Miami. And he's just like, anyone crazy enough to play with me is crazy enough anyone crazy enough to fuck with me is crazy enough to play with me. Do you want to be a Laker? And I grew up, I was at UCLA when Big Fella and them were winning the championships, and I grew up in Northern California, and Showtime was my team. So I'm like, absolutely. And literally 3 days after that phone call, I'm in LA, and I signed a contract. So that kind of us going back and forth. He went and got Ron Artest the year before because Ron had tried to choke him during the playoffs. And then he came and got me the next year because I, almost threw the ball in his face. And he's like, I don't want to fuck with you guys no more. I want you to fuck with me. But funny story about that. Obviously, me and Ron known for our defense. There would be times where Kobe would like really try to cuss us out, like because we always guarded the best player to save his energy. But there would be times if that person hit one or two, man, get the fuck out, I'm gonna guard him. That. So he'd be arguing with me and Ron on the court who was going to guard the best player. So
make sure to like and subscribe if you're getting value from this video.
Just his competitive nature and how hard he worked. I mean, I never got a chance to see that before or after. I mean, his dedication to being the absolute best, and you can attest to that. Like, he just always wanted to be the best no matter what, when, how he was going to do it. And I always say he had a ton of God-given ability, but I feel like he paid God back every day for how hard he worked with that ability.
That's beautiful. You've been saying a lot lately in the greatest of all time, Kobe deserves more conversation.
Absolutely.
I was curious, when you hear the greatest of all times, does it ever get you upset when Tim Duncan's not mentioned at all?
Yeah, because he's definitely in mine. I mean, how could he not be? I mean, you just look at the body of work and what he's done as a power forward. I mean, he should be in the top 5, our best of all time.
You know what I think, too, not to cut you off, Jack, I think there's always the list varies from if you played or not. I think guys that don't play don't really understand what some of these dudes were like. And, when you talk about where Kobe's ranks in the hierarchy of the game, and I've heard Shaq talk about it, us talk about it, when you hear these reporters that didn't play, he's sometimes outside the top 10, and we're just like, it's crazy. To me.
But to me, But to me, it's always been a little man's list.
Yeah.
Because Kareem's name is never mentioned, ever.
Mhm.
Right? So, which is normal because, you know, nobody roots for Goliath. Everybody always roots for the little guy, and I understand. But, you know, Kareem name definitely needs to be in there. Kobe.
Kareem, Russell, Wilt, Duncan, Shaq are always a little bit
I'm not
lower.
in that
I have
category.
five.
Shaq, you don't stop
I have
being modest,
four.
Shaq.
I'm most
Five big
dominant.
men in my
No,
top 10.
I'm most dominant.
You want to give your top 10?
I have 5 big men in my
Let's
top
hear
10.
it.
So well, I'm going 1 through 10.
Yes.
I go MJ. I go Kobe. I go Braun. I go Tim. I go Shaq. I go Magic. I go Bird. I go Kareem. I go Wilt, and I go Bill Russell.
That's really clean.
Nice. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate that.
Well, there you have it on the full explanation on the Kobe Flinch incident. Comment your top 5 players below. That's all I have for this video. I'll see you in the next one.